Shift left the proper way. I want to go through a little bit of the history of where shift left came from, how we got here, where it went wrong, in my opinion, and you can argue with me, that's awesome. And then how we're going to actually empower our best employees to truly handle this situation going forward. When shift left started, it actually started with shifting testing left. So the intention was put testing further and further left. This is the idea and the concept where shift left came. The problem was that's not where it stopped, right? If we go look at any single job posting, who's looked at a full stack developer that's supposed to have, let's dev, let's do security, let's do networking, let's provision our infrastructure, let's do newsletters, podcasts, God knows, right? This has become way too untenable. And the problem was it started with just testing, and we're shifting this workload. So let's shift the workload further left. Testing was easy, but now I have to do all these other parts. In fact, now even finance is reaching out saying, hey, how come we're not looking at that ahead of time? And now it's becoming the problem of the developer. And so the issue here comes down to the fact that if I hired a plumber, I would not hire a plumber to do my electrical work, nor would I hire an electrician to do my plumbing. I'm pretty sure they could, but the important part of this is they know where all the parts and pieces are. I want to make sure my plumber is not going to stick a hole right where my electrical is or vice versa. But I want to make sure people have the right information at the right time. This is what that full stack developer has to shift left now. Right? How much time is spent provisioning infrastructure, creating pipelines? How much time is spent actually dealing with long, complicated release strategies? Verifying a deployment. Whose favorite thing is babysitting deployments? Anyone? That's weird. No one loves that. That's weird. Yet it's part of what we have to do. Right? Bring in all the observability. Security testing. Who loves getting that report from security 2 weeks later? I should ask questions when people raise their hands, not keep them down. Who has hands in the crowd? Anyone have hands? About half of the crowd has hands today. This is good. This is good. But this is the actual problem that we struggle with, is now we've shifted every part and piece of this workload left to our engineers. Our engineers are best at writing code. And we've asked them to do everything else but write code. And if you don't believe me, so our CEO, Jyoti Bansal, who sold his last company, AppDynamics, to Cisco, put out a poll. We wanted to find out from every engineer how much time is spent actually writing code every day. This is your job. And traditionally, it's less than 3 hours a day. That's crazy. If I did my job for less than 3 hours a day, they'd fire me. If I had to do what I hate doing for more, for that extra time, I would hate that as well. This has become the largest problem. How do we actually handle workloads that have to get achieved without pushing them to the people that we want to actually generate business value? The whole point as a developer is I want to create and I want to write code that actually impacts our business. I don't want to write pipelines. I don't want to go and figure out networking and AMI or all of my role-based access control. These are things that end up becoming my burden, but how do we get away from it? So how do we start empowering people to start doing this? The intention is not to move the workload left. Quit shoving that over and, hey, write more YAML and write more configuration as code and write your own Terraform script and write your own networking, and instead bring the information left. What we should be doing is empowering our engineers with all of the right information they need at the right time. When do you want a security scan? Do you want it 2 weeks later after it's in production? Or do you want it as I'm building my artifact? As my code's getting put in the repo to do the code scan? As my artifact's being built? I want to know what that container looks like. I want to know what those scans are now. What's interesting as an engineer, so I got my start in the financial services sector. I helped build critical infrastructure for the United States. But I was the sysadmin that had to make sure that I proved everyone's innocence. My job was in a war room. You had to. I'm seeing nods, which is great. I had to come into a room, and every one of you had to prove that you were innocent. Everyone was guilty. Network, are you innocent? App, are you innocent? Database, are you innocent? That was my job, right? And it's a pain, but now we've shifted that over to the engineers. So now the person who wrote the code, is also supposed to know the infrastructure, the networking, the pieces. How do we give them the information at the right time? The only way to do this appropriately is to automate every part of the software delivery lifecycle. Automate every part of it. If we've got manual pieces in here, we're actually struggling with that. But now, as an engineer, I don't know how many, who's been caught with a crazy Amazon bill? Anyone? Yeah, okay, we got a few hands. We got 3 or 4 that admit it. The rest of us aren't raising our hands, they're nodding though. So okay, no one's admitting it. We've all had that crazy bill. Now, as an engineer, I would have not chosen that massively large instance that was going to cost us $100,000 over the next month if I knew what the cost was when I deployed it. But that information wasn't provided to me. It was a selection, I chose it, I did it, and I found out 30 days later from my CFO, hey, this is a problem, I now have to go look at it. Why not have that information as I'm deploying? Understanding the choices that I'm making. Know that I've well over provisioned my infrastructure. Know that I've asked for way too much memory and way too much CPU now, before it goes into production, as opposed to when it's in production. How do I make sure I get those security tests in the right time frame? How do I bring the information, all my test information? In fact, who loves running all 30,000 unit tests for that 50 lines of code change? Anyone? I got 4 smiles. Some people don't know what I'm talking about, and that's fine. Right? This is a huge problem. I'm going to go write 50 lines of code, and I'm going to run every single test. If I took your car in to go get the gas cap changed, would you expect them to test the entire electrical system? Probably not. But that's what we do every single time we deploy. Why? Bring the information that matters to the engineer now. Don't bring the workload. Don't make them write the test, but bring them the results of it now. And bring the ones that they care about. So only run the ones that would affect, say, that gas cap. All right? Decompile that code, understand what needs to be done, and do it that way. When we think about who's got non-production infrastructure in the cloud, right? How many times have you been called to go shut that off because it's too expensive, change the pieces? Anyone? Okay, we've got a few hands, so good. Why are you doing that? Why not have a system that can handle that for you? Bring that information to you. Hey, by the way, you're not using that QA system except for once every 2 weeks. Maybe that thing should be parked and not only give you the information, but take action on it. Again, bring the information to the engineer when it's valuable. Now, I'm not lighting up non-production infrastructure that doesn't need to run. I'm not over-provisioning infrastructure. I'm running my security tests when they matter. Right? And I don't care if you're using Harness or another platform, this should be part of your automation journey to truly shift left. Shift left all the information to the people that can affect change now. Do not shift more work towards them. Do not make them write all the group rules and all the security rules and all the networking rules, but give them an easy path. Right? I love templates. Who loves repeating themselves? Anyone love repeating themselves? I keep asking the wrong questions. No hands, sorry. Right? The intention, again, let's make it dry. Don't repeat yourself. But when we do that, let's do that for all aspects, but bring the information back to the people that need it. Let's empower the security team to write the rules. Hey, I want to make sure it's easy for me to do the right thing. I want to make sure it's hard for me to do the wrong thing. I don't necessarily need a train track of the only way to get to production, but I want guardrails. I want to make sure that maybe I have to have certain types of scanning before it goes into QA or before it gets turned into a container. Maybe I have to have approvals, right? And you can't even kick off a pipeline unless those are there. But again, empower the right team. So now give the security team the ability to write that. Make sure that you have the guardrails in place. Give the infrastructure team, hey, where do we want to deploy? We've got some of our stuff on premise still. We've got some of it going to the cloud. I want to make sure that at any point in time, I can only put my infrastructure in the right place. Again, empower the infrastructure team to write that, not give that workload to the engineer. DevOps teams love writing pipelines. Let's not write 1 million of them. I've been to too many companies where I've got 5,000 applications and I have 5,500 pipelines to get there. Okay? Imagine if you went to the Las Vegas airport and you landed on one of their 7,000 landing strips because they had 7,000 different airplanes that had to land on 7,000 different places. No business in the world would do that. In fact, they'll get you 4, 5, 6, templates, if you will. Now I can take off, and it doesn't matter if I'm a Cessna and I'm a tiny little microservice, or if I'm a massive aircraft that takes thousands of people. This is that monolith. It does not matter. I have a runway to do it. And the intention here is do that with your pipelines. Make sure that, again, you have an easy way to get there. If you start moving the information left as opposed to the workload, A, you're going to keep people. You can find 1,000 resumes of people who built their CI and their CD system. What you won't find is a million resumes that say, I actually managed that and kept it up for 4 years. Find me one person who's got that on their resume. It's very difficult. So now, again, empower each one of those teams to do what they want. Empower those DevOps teams to write dry, repeatable pieces. And then as an engineer, I don't care what platform you use, you should not see it, ever, unless something goes wrong. If everything goes right, I shouldn't see it, I shouldn't care. If something goes wrong, that platform should give you every piece of information you need to actually solve the problem. Where was that null pointer? Where was my exception? Why did it fail? Where's the, the output from the container? All of that should be provided for you. By giving that information at the right time, now we cut down all of that time frame that we have. Velocity is our goal, but if we don't actually put guardrails on it, it actually becomes a burden. So, I guess in a little bit of summation, how do we properly shift left? How do we increase innovation velocity without giving up security, quality, efficiency, reliability, governance? This is where everyone tries to go fast, use their CI tool, use their open source tools, and then realizes, hey, we're going fast, but I forgot to secure it. I forgot to govern it. I forgot to audit it. Now these become hard. These are the things that are required for you to properly shift left. If you do not instantiate these at the very beginning of your process, you'll be playing catch up the entire time. By the way, if you guys want to come and talk to us, we just made an announcement. So we found out we built a really cool CI tool on top of our entire continuous delivery platform. It is now the world's fastest CI. If you don't believe me, go check it out. So we 4x'd the competition at minimum and 10x'd most of them. If you want to come see how builds can go faster, how your deployments can be automated, how they can be governed, how they can be, again, auditable, compliant, how they can be done at scale repeatably, and empower your developers to do what they're best at and get back to doing what they love by removing the worst parts of their job, come by booth, 3020? Booth 3020. We're by the Amazon Developer Experience. Come talk to Harness. We're glad to talk to you, show how we can help you shift left at your company. And we can deliver the entire software delivery lifecycle by removing the worst part of your best engineers' jobs. Thank you, guys. Have a nice day.